All right. My name is Marcus Fertig. This is the Hinsdale Magazine Group. Today we are joined by the defensive mastermind, NCAA national champion, NFC Coach of the Year, Super Bowl champion, and sports media savant, Dave Wannstedt. Thank you for joining us today, Dave. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
That's awful nice of you, Marcus, with that introduction. Trust me.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Yeah, good. So we kind of want to touch on your journey as a player, as a coach in the media world. So I would like to start at the beginning. Dave, how did it feel being from Pittsburgh, growing up playing football? What did it feel like to earn that scholarship to play for the Pittsburgh Panthers?
Well, I was very fortunate. We came from a time back in Western Pennsylvania where, it's still blue collar, but back then it was a steel town. Mm-hmm. And my dad worked in a steel mill, and that was every Friday nights were the thing back then. I mean, we had 10,000 people to a high school game.
Wow.
And I say this because it's little story. When I was coaching the Dolphins, Coach Ditka and I, his dad worked in the steel mills and for the same steel mills, but on the other side of the river in Pittsburgh. And Mike was having a golf tournament. He had a little restaurant in Naples where I live in the off season. And after the tournament, Mike grabbed myself, Marty Schottenheimer, who's a Pittsburgh guy, Joe Namath, who's a Pittsburgh guy, and Mike. And we went down to Mike's restaurant, and we sat there, I don't know how late. We closed it. Everybody was gone. Mike had, locked it up. And we, 2 o'clock in the morning, and the whole conversation was that football was a way out for us. And if we didn't go and play football somewhere, coming out of high school and go to college, we'd have been working in the steel mills.
Right. It's like Rudy.
So that was kind of the way of life back then where we were all from. And so I was excited.
That's awesome.
Ended up going to Pitt, yeah.
So it was, as a kid, it was always football? That was always the thing?
No. Basketball, baseball, right. We did it all. We did it all. But as I got bigger, that was kind of the thing that, had the best opportunities with.
Yeah. So you're at Pitt, you're playing, you come back as a coach, 1975, win the national championship. What's that like to be on that team, to win the national championship for your hometown team? Yeah,
well, it's kind of funny because Coach Johnny Majors was our coach then, and I was fortunate to be one of his first captains. We went to the bowl game, and Tony Dorsett was a freshman. And
Heisman Trophy winner.
By the time Tony was a senior in 1976, I had been up at Green Bay. I was on injured reserve. I came back, and Coach Majors offered me a coaching job. I took it at Pitt, and the next year we win the national championship. So it was a great way to start a coaching career, because I was at that point. I had taken I was going to go to the FBI.
Oh, really?
I had taken the first part of the test, passed out, and I was getting prepped for the second half of the test.
You're going to be a detective?
So in my mind, I was going to go, back then, whatever they did, I was wanted to get into law enforcement, and FBI was my master's degree was from at Pitt. I went back and I got my undergrad in education, and I got my master's degree from Pitt in actually criminology. So that's what got me going down that direction. But it's funny because after we won a national championship, our coach left, Johnny Majors, and Jackie Sherrill took over, and Jackie hired me at Pitt, and he hired a guy named Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
So Jimmy and I were assistants together at Pitt for 2 years, and then he got the Oklahoma State job, and I left and went with him.
Right. So you go to Oklahoma State with him. What was that like, kind of first time? I know you went to Green Bay, but now you're out of the Pennsylvania area on your
first
own.
Time, yeah.
What's that like, kind of growing up and learning how to coach with
I didn't know
Johnson?
I didn't know how smart it was because, to be honest with you, on our Pitt team we had Dan Marino, Jimbo Covert,
right,
Ricky Jackson. We had a great team, not a good team, a great team. And that's how good a recruiter Jimmy was. And he convinced me to get in a car, take my oldest daughter, and go to Stillwater, Oklahoma, which we did. And, obviously the rest is history.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys, so that's kind of your relationship started. Mm-hmm. Would you say it was, I've heard you guys are friends, real close. So when did that kind of start? Was it right away? Was there any battles, or did you mesh kind of right away?
No, we connected. Our wives became friends when we were both assistants at Pitt. Mm-hmm. And to be quite honest with you, we used to play racquetball together all the time. And so we became friends off the field as much as on the field.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's evolved through national championships and one-win season and Super Bowl winning seasons, So I talked to Jimmy last week. We still talk probably every other week, but I'll text him usually once a week and just check in on him and stuff.
That's amazing. So when did this style of coaching, obviously the aggressive defense, you're going to force turnovers, when did that come about? Was that kind of always how you viewed defense, or was that kind of manufactured over the years?
When we went to Oklahoma State, they were coming off of a probation period. And at that time, we were playing in Nebraskas of the world, which you'll like that, being Nebraska. Yeah. And we were in Oklahoma. They were as good a teams, not just in our league, but in the country. Yeah. And we didn't have good enough players. So we kind of came up with this scheme because we had undersized players that we used quickness. And we would do a lot of moving with our front guys. So it kind of evolved, started at Oklahoma State, and then we took it to another level when we went to University of Miami.
Yeah, so you get to Miami, and then it's right away, would you say it's kind of that bad boys persona? Was that, how much of that was your coaching style, or was that more so the swagger, kind of how those guys played?
I think that it was a combination of that we were so good.
Yeah.
And our players believed that we were that good. I was there 3 years and we lost one regular season game. Wow. That's how good we were. And
who was that game to?
We lost it to Notre Dame, 31-30. That was Convicts and Catholics.
Yeah, we were just
31-30. That was the only regular season game that we lost. And beat Oklahoma the next year to go to won a national championship. Yeah. And then we lost a national championship game to Penn State. So, I don't know. The swagger came because of how good we were. I think the players we would recruit, we couldn't go and get the best kids in certain areas at Florida and Florida State could get. So we were getting a tough kid. Right. I'd say a lot of city kids. And, when it started, it was kind of the thing where if you're going to act that way and talk that way, you better back it up. And we were good enough to back it up, so we just kind of let the thing.
You think that's why it kind of kept rolling? Yeah, undefeated season.
Exactly. It took a life of its own.
Was there a lot of pressure to keep that undefeated streak and to win, or was those guys?
No,
you didn't have to worry about it.
The pressure was to back then. The two teams played for the national championship. There was no big playoff. Right. So the pressure back then was to be one of those two teams.
Yeah, you can't slip up. And I know you had that close game against Florida State, Dion.
Yep.
And so I'm sure the pressure during a game like that is insane. Because, nowadays you lose a game, you lose 2 games, you'll still be okay if you're a top program.
Well, every call is critical. Every, you get into those type of games, and as a defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator, every critical situation, you're trying to dial up something that's successful, because one bad play could be the difference in not just that game, but in the national championship or not.
Right. So you get to it, you pull it off, you win the national championship. What does that feel like as a coach, as a football player, to work that hard and you succeed like that? What did that mean to you?
Yeah, I guess you don't really think about it. I remember we won the national championship in the Orange Bowl in Miami, and we went back and had a big party, and obviously, And then after the party, myself and a couple coaches, we went out and sat by the beach, and all of our wives, everybody, the party ended, they all went to bed, and 2 or 3 of us just sat around until the sun came up and just talked about it. So I guess we took it all in.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so good.
Every last minute of it, yeah.
That is incredible. All right, so you have that big success at Miami. Now you're going to the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys, correct?
I actually went to after the last year at Miami. Coach Shula called me up from the Dolphins, and he was contemplating at that time. They were a 3-4 defense. We were a 4-3. He was, and we were like, if not number 1 in the country, we were top defense in the country, top 5 every year, and he had a job open, and he hired me at the Dolphins, and it was perfect because I made a few dollars more. I didn't have to move. It was like 8-10 minutes up the road from the University of Miami.
Wow.
So I was working there for about 6 weeks. I think I got 1 paycheck. And then Jimmy called me and told me that and I was just a linebacker coach then. So I was coordinator. I went to the NFL as a linebacker coach. And then Jimmy got the Dolphins or the Cowboys job, and then called me up and offered me the defensive coordinator job to come to Dallas with him.
I'm sure that wasn't hard convincing by him. That's a dream spot.
And we had our whole crew. We brought the defensive line coach Butch Davis and Dave Campo the second. So we kind of all knew what we were getting into. Everybody knew their role, their niche. Yeah. And we went at it,
Yeah, a couple of years, and then you pull it off. The big one.
Crazy, unbelievable. We won 1 game the first year. We were terrible.
Oh my gosh.
We beat Washington down there 13-6, I think it was, and then 3 years later, we win a Super Bowl. I mean,
unreal.
And that turnaround might have been as fast a turnaround from the worst to the best of any pro franchise turnaround in history.
That does not happen
in 4 years time.
That's so impressive to be a part of. And I'm reading about this Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. You forced 9 turnovers.
Yeah.
9 turnovers.
We did, and we didn't do anything that we hadn't been doing all year. It's crazy.
I can't believe I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's a Super Bowl record.
Oh my gosh.
And, no, it was good. It was, and I was actually the assistant head coach of the Dallas and defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, and I was the head coach of the Bears at the same time.
Really?
Because all these jobs were open, and this is the type of relationship Jimmy Johnson and I have. And so all of these teams were all calling about wanting me to interview, and I interviewed with the Giants, and I think I had New England, I had Denver, Bears, and there was somebody else. There was five jobs that were open. And Jimmy didn't want me to lose out on an opportunity. So what we did was once I decided that I was going to take the Chicago job, I came up and had a press conference between our last football game and then we had a bye week before the Super Bowl. So I accepted the Bears job during the bye week. Yeah. So technically, and after that game, they changed it. You can't do that now in the NFL. They changed the rule because of me.
Yeah.
That because I was the head coach of one team and the assistant head coach of the other team at the same time.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. So, in 9 turnovers against Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills.
Oh yeah. Jim and I. Jim's a Miami guy too. We're good buddies. Yeah.
So what's that like the group of guys you had on the Cowboys? My dad has told me Chuck Haley was someone to be feared, someone he talked a lot about, but I'd never seen him. I didn't know too much about him. So talk a little about him and the defense.
We did not, because we picked up Charles Haley in a trade, and the year before that, he didn't have that good of a year with the 49ers. He was an all-pro player before that, but we did not have an active pro player on that defense. We ended up number 1 defense in the whole NFL.
Wow.
the year we won the Super Bowl, and we did not have a Pro Bowl player at that time on our defense. So it was pretty remarkable that what these players did.
And pretty remarkable what the coach could draw up,
well, I don't know. But no, we had a good group of guys, and we didn't make many mistakes. You know,
Right.
I mean, football's, it's usually the guys that know what to do and they give great effort, they're going to get good results. And that's kind of what happened.
Yeah. And then that Super Bowl win, as a football fan, what did that feel like? What did that mean to you? Was it emotional? I mean, I can't imagine how many people can say they've won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, it was obviously. But you know what? The sad thing is that as great as it was, you know, I remember at the Super Bowl party, I'm texting a couple guys and talk. You know, I'm getting my staff together to go to work in Chicago the next week. You know, so because I had accepted the job here, you know, the Super Bowl was fantastic. We got it done, but I was, you know, as crazy as it sounds, I look back on it, I was kind of on to the next venture.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then you're a head coach, and could you ever imagine as a kid growing up playing college football, you'd be a head coach of the Chicago Bears or any NFL franchise?
No, I didn't. I knew I was going to coach.
Right.
I really, because, you know, you get into coaching because a coach someplace in your life made a difference. And, you know, I told the story about, you know, I didn't know what I was going to do, go to college, not go to college. And, you know, we had 6 kids. My dad was swinging shifts at the mill. So it was really a situation where my coaches were the ones that said, hey, you got to get your college classes right. You got to get this right. You got to do this. Get in, you know, so they really took a active role in my life.
Yeah.
And it made a difference. And so that always was in the back of my mind. And I think most coaches today in all sports, if you ask them why they got into it, I think they would tell you the same thing.
Right. Well, it's like that, you know, nowadays, do you want a leader of men coach or do you want an X's and O's coach? And
Right.
to me, it seems the leader of men coaches, those are the teams who sustain success over a long period of time. You know, you need a real leader. Seems like that's the type of guy you were, the type of coach you were.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, you surround yourself with good people, good X and O coaches, good coaches that, you know, that are on the same page as you, and you got a good plan, and you know, you got to have some things fall right. I mean, you gotta stay healthy. You know, the ball's got to bounce right way a little bit. I mean, because the talent is so close, particularly in the NFL, it is so close that kind of on any given Sunday, for the most part, you know, you can get beat.
Yeah.
You can get beat.
Yeah. So you're in Chicago. It's the 90s. What's it like then being a celebrity?
Well, we started, you know, I mean, I kind of never looked at it that way. We started off good. I mean, you know, in fact, we're the last team, I think, to win a road playoff game. We beat Minnesota up there my second year. In the third year, I thought we were going to playoffs. We got knocked out the last game. And then, you know, in the coaching profession, every coach has a window where you got to hit it big or it's not going to work out.
Right.
And sometimes it might be 2 years. In some situations, it might be 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, that 4th year, we spent a little bit of money with the Bears back then, and we opened up the season. We were the first game of the year, and we opened up on Monday night in Soldier Field against the defending Super Bowl champs, Cowboys. Dion, Troy, Michael, Emmett, the crew. And we beat them. And it was the next week or the week after that our quarterback was Eric Kramer. He breaks his neck. And he breaks his neck and he's out for the year. And we had a backup guy, an older guy, Dave Craig, and he came in.
Yeah.
And we went 7-9. And then some free agents left and on. And that was really the end. I mean, the window, because of Eric, getting hurt, breaking his neck, our window closed.
It throws it all off. Then what do you do with that?
And that
the
was
money
it.
you spent, and
unfortunate, but that's part of the game. That's part of the game.
So what was it like then? You're one of the biggest figures in the town. It's the 90s. I mean, it's like you and it's like Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Being in Chicago for those years, how amazing was that?
Well, Michael, he was, they were at a different level than I always looked at myself, but we were just trying to do the best job we could on and off the field. I was always thinking about representing this city. I think that's why here I sit now. I never won a Super Bowl here, and I'm working 5 different media jobs here, and I think I always tell people ask me, and I say, well, I think it's because I got a mustache, I smoke cigars, and I like red wine. That's kind of Chicago.
What kind of wine?
I drink cab.
Right.
But I think that I was always in the back of my mind wanting to make sure that we did as good a job as we could on the field and off the field, because I thought that was important. Chicago is like a big Pittsburgh to me. The people were always good.
That's good. So you're out of Chicago, now you're in Miami. You're filling in for Jimmy Johnson again. And when you accepted that job, did you know he was going to retire? You're going to take that head coach position?
No, I was actually in a car heading down to the Keys to meet him.
Yeah.
He was going to hang it up. And then he called me and said, hey, will you come on here and give me a hand for a year and let's see what happens. So, I said, sure.
Yeah.
So we jumped on board and we had a decent year. And then Mr. Izingo, who's a Chicago guy, started Waste Management. He hired me, and after 4 years, we were the third winningest franchise in the NFL. It was Philadelphia and Green Bay, the only two that won more games, and we did 4 years into it. And then Ricky Williams took a little sabbatical, to go do whatever he was going to do.
Yeah.
A week before training camp on top of it. Yeah. And then it was just then our quarterback got hurt, and then some conflicts internally happened, and basically the thing fell apart within 6 months.
Really?
We were coming off a 10-6 season. I mean, we averaged 10.5 wins a year, at that point. So.
We were down in Miami, the weather's nice. It's easy to kind of.
Yeah, I know.
As a player, maybe you get a little distracted.
Well, we just
versus you're up in the north.
It was kind of the injury thing. Ricky went to smoke dope, and our quarterback got hurt. That's the reality of it,
Not much you can do there. So,
and he was about 65% of our offense.
Ricky Williams. Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was the guy.
Yeah. The workhorse. But all right, all this coaching. What are some of the most important things as a coach in your mind that you can give to your players?
Well, I think the overcoming adversity. There's in the sport of football, there's so many life skills. I don't know if the word skills, or so many life lessons. Let's put it that way: life lessons that you learn from football as a young person. That I think that is so good, so good. I mean, I got 6 grandkids now, 5 of them boys playing football, and it's just a sense. Although the girl's probably the best athlete of them all, but. It's being on time for something.
Right.
Being accountable to your teammates. Mm-hmm. It's not all about you. It's a team thing. You got to work with people. You got to be coachable. You're going to have somebody that's a boss, that's in charge. You're going to win some. You're going to lose some. So there's all these lessons that go into daily work and life. I think it's really good. So I always had that in the back of my mind, that I wanted to make sure that I was instilling those things in my players, and that they understood the importance of dealing with these things the right way. And it's funny, to this day, when I went back to Pitt, my alma mater, I wasn't going to do it. I turned the job down twice and then took it, and just to try to make a difference in these players' lives.
Right.
And to this day, on Father's Day, I'll get texts and emails and stuff from guys all over the country that, so that part of it is probably, people forget about the wins and losses and, all the rings I got. All that stuff. That's nice. But it doesn't mean anything to me right now, to be quite honest with you. It's all about the lasting things, which are those relationships where you've had a chance to make a difference, even assistant coaches. I've had a bunch of, I can, from Ron Rivera, helping him get into the profession, to Chucky Pagano, who was here, to Greg Schiano. I can get on a list of probably 10 guys that are coaching right now. That Jeff Hafley, the defense coordinator at Green Bay, I gave him his first job. So there's a lot of guys that I think I've made a difference in their lives that have gone on to be successful, and that's pretty rewarding.
Yeah, and how did it feel then going home, taking over that Pittsburgh job?
It was good. It was good. Obviously, I knew that'd be a pain. Really, and there's two sides of it, because it's exciting for you. You played there, lived there, but
Nebraska. When I was in school, it was the whole Scott Frost experiment.
Yeah,
and so he came back, and there's murals painted, tough. And then he didn't quite live up to what he thought, and it's kind of exiled from town. Come on, we invited him back like that. It's tough. It's tough.
And Pitt, then when I took over, it was a total rebuild. And we got it to the point where we won 10 games, which they hadn't done since Dan Marino was there.
Right.
And we averaged 9 my last 3 years. And then they brought in a new AD, and him and myself, we had some philosophy problems. And so basically, it fell apart, and I went back to the NFL for a couple of years.
Yeah. Recruiting, what was that like to where it is now?
Yeah, back then, recruiting is kind of like sales. I do a lot of talk with companies and stuff around the country and in Chicago, and it's a lot. The salespeople, I've always believed this about recruiting, is that if you got a good product and you believe in it, that you can sell.
Right.
That you can sell. And, I obviously thought that Pitt, was a good product with our history and tradition. And I believed in it because I lived it. So to me, recruiting was pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I was able to get some good players, and Aaron Donalds of the world, and Sean McCoys. And,
do you know those guys are going to be NFL superstars?
I thought LaShawn McCoy would. He was on the cover of Parade magazine. He was the number 1 player in the country. But Aaron Donald didn't have very many offers.
Yeah.
So I really didn't have any idea how he was going to be.
Even in college, could you tell when he was playing?
Oh, yeah. Once he got to college, I guess second year, that no one could block him.
That's crazy. Sure makes coaching your defense a little easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then last thing we'll get into is now you're in the sports media world here in Chicago. What's that been like? Your career, I know you got a lot of opportunities happening, and
you know what? It's kind of crazy because I was always very cordial to the media, but I never went out of my way, and I think I was always guarded, protected. I don't want to give these guys too much and have something come out and to affect the team or the players or the staff or the whatever.
Yeah.
And then when I got done, when I left Tampa Bay, I went down and auditioned at the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
And Fox owns the Big Ten network.
Yep.
So when the Big Ten hired me, they got in touch with the people at Fox in L.A., and I went out there and talked to them. And so for my first 7-8 years, I was doing Big Ten, and I was flying to L.A. every weekend doing college and football and NFL.
Wow.
And then...
did you enjoy it right away?
I did. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. But every weekend I was gone.
Yeah.
And I've got all these grandkids here, and I kind of said, what am I doing? So I was very fortunate to get a couple things going here in Chicago with NBC, the Marquee station, still the Big Ten, and then the Score radio. You know, I do 2 shows a week on the Score.
Nice.
So, yeah, I've been very, very blessed that way.
And you cover all aspects of football, from X's and O's to hierarchying, you know, predictions.
Yep.
What's kind of your favorite thing then to cover?
What part of the game you mean?
Yeah, like what part? Is it the defense? Is it the coaching? Do you like the
I think I think the game plans, you know. I mean seeing some of these coaches and some of the things they're trying to do are really good, and there's some things that I watch 10 plays and say they got no chance.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't know what they're trying to do, but it ain't going to go anywhere. So I enjoy watching. When I watch a game, I don't get excited. I just watch it all from a coach's perspective and just thinking ahead and watching the schemes and what they're doing, you know, X and O wise as much as anything.
So growing up in Pittsburgh, you're not a Steelers fan then?
I am, you know.
Yeah, so you got to pull for them a little bit while you're watching.
A little bit. Yeah. My wife said we were fans, whoever was writing us a check, you know. Yeah. So we, you know, I bounced around 9 times, I think, but it was all good stuff.
Right. Yeah, I am a diehard Chicago Bears guy. Yeah. It's in the blood. It's in the family. So born into it.
Well, Chicago's one of those times. That was the bad thing about Miami and University and the Dolphins. You know, a large percentage of their fans are people that moved down here because of the weather and transplants and all that stuff. But not in Chicago, not in Pittsburgh. You know, these blue-collar towns are a little bit different.
Yeah, you got those big fan bases.
Yep.
Well, I think that was great. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate everything. And anything else you want to cover? Anything you want to plug?
No, that's good.
Okay. All right.
Pull out what you want and do it.